About 15 years ago, I had an article, a monthly article in Arborist magazine. It was called Tall Tales. Tall Tales, stories from the field, things that happen to other climbers. If you hear a story and can feel the impact of what could happen or what did happen to somebody else, oftentimes it'll go a long ways in helping you to realize the potential of something that could happen while you're out working. Especially for the younger climbers, the aspiring arborists, the people that are just getting into this business, to hear the stories of what has happened before can oftentimes help you to realize that it can happen to you. So I've decided I'm going to try to reintroduce some of these stories back into my video series, and I really hope you enjoy them. But more importantly, I hope that some of the younger climbers can listen to what could happen, and maybe it'll make you stop and think the next time you're up in a tree in a similar situation. Alright, it's time for a little tree man folklore. Well, this actually happened, so it's not really a tall tale. You see these redwood trees over here? There used to be one right here, and it had a trunk diameter of about 3.5 feet or so. And it was on the creek, and there was a lot of water one year that was just rushing down through here. And this big redwood tree fell down, and it went all the way up the driveway, all the way up that way. So the trunk was all the way up on over here. This was, I'm going to say 20, 25 years ago that this happened. There's no evidence of it whatsoever. What was interesting is one of my guys, a guy named Joe, he started up there and they kept cutting and chipping, and he got on top of the log. And he started cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting, and he got down to about right here, and he was standing on the log. That's where it got, I shouldn't say funny, but because nobody got hurt, it was hysterical. As soon as he cut through that log, the weight of this trunk, which by the way had scooted down when the tree fell, so this whole root mass full of dirt was a little bit up in the air. He didn't think about that. He stood up here, he cut off that log, and damned if the whole thing didn't just right itself. He threw the saw down as he was going up, and it just went straight up in the air, and through him, he went about 20 feet down into the creek. Like I said, fortunately he wasn't hurt, but sometimes things happen and you just don't anticipate them. That one probably could have been anticipated, but you got to think about these things. You know, there's so many stories, and you know, the more I think about it, I realize I could be talking for a long time. So I'm going to try to keep these short and to the point, but I think they're all important to tell. You know, there was another one that happened to me that I don't think I could have planned it. I was up in this tree, it was a removal, I was chunking down wood, and as I was chunking down these pieces of wood, some of them set themselves up in a pattern where there was a piece that laid down, another piece that went across the other piece, and a third piece that sort of set itself up almost like on the edge of a teeter-totter. I didn't see it happening, I'm just chunking down wood as I was going, and the next piece happened to hit the high point of this teeter-totter structure, and a piece of firewood, which was about, you know, well, I don't know, 15 pounds or so, 20 pounds maybe, was launched up into the tree with such a force that it went over my head. I was probably 40 feet up in the air. Never in my wildest dreams could I have imagined that that had happened, but it did. So I guess the moral of this story is be prepared. Something can happen. Something will happen, and if you can anticipate it, then maybe you'll be able to either avoid it or see it coming. So let's hear some of your stories. You know, write in at the bottom of this this video comment section, and you know, please subscribe. And let's hear some of the things that are happening to other people out there. It's all valuable, and it'll all help someone else.